know what I hate the most? These liberals out here. They get caught. Now they don't want to pay the consequences. The usual. But Kamala Harris gets hoaxed. Joe Biden faces plagiarism accusations again. And House Rep Elise Stefanik to speak at the RNC convention. And a Tennessee mom says parents asked to sign waiver that they don't eavesdrop on their kids. Next. All right, guys. So Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris, whichever way, she got hoaxed. These two Russians, Vladimir Kuznetsov and Alexey Stolyarov, they pranked Kamala Harris, posing as Greta Thunberg, and her father to offer dirt on President Trump. Now the pranksters, they did the same stunt on the Democrat House Rep Maxine Waters, low IQ Maxine, and they also got UK's Prince Harry, and also the UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Now these guys think they're all smart and holier than thou, but their own staffers can't figure out who's a real activist, as they call themselves. It's thunberg, as they call her, Greta. And she was also willing. This is Harris I'm talking about, Kamala. She was willing to take the dirt, quote unquote, and we have the audio on it. So I get the audio ready. What do you guys think? And these people think they're so great, and they can't even, or at least their staffers can't even figure out who's real or not. Here's the audio.
Dante, I have you here with Senator Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Kamala.
Oh, hello,
I'm
Greta.
glad we can talk.
Congratulations on all of your leadership. I'm so inspired by your courage and your voice.
It would be cool to support you in your campaign. Or what is the best way to do it?
The best way to do it would be to talk about my climate plan. You know what I can do is I can ask my policy team to follow up with you with more detail on what exactly would be helpful and what is something that you would like to do. And then we can talk about more detail about how that can work. And that would be very helpful, and I thank you for that.
And by the way, we wrote to many politicians, but not many people respond. How sad it is.
Don't be upset. Recently, even President Putin said about you.
It wasn't what I wanted.
Well, it just highlights the need that we have to be active, and that there are forces working against our movement. And we have to fight for these things. And so this is that moment. And you have been a great warrior in this cause.
Also terrified of what Trump is doing. I even can't sleep or eat when I see him on TV. That terrible meeting in the UN building in September, I had nightmares. I saw him in the corridor. I shouted to him to sign the Paris Climate Agreement. He came over. He said softly to me, "You will never achieve the goal." So
no, but Greta, do not be deterred.
He continued.
Do not be deterred. You have the ability to see what is possible in a way that many do not. And there will be people who are going to work against progress. That is always the case. Always in history, there have been people who work against progress. Listen, nothing that has been achieved in this world that has been about progress came without a fight. This is the nature of it.
But it's it's very sick to behave like that. I mean, President Trump.
Yes, it is, and it is similar to previous times in history when some people could not imagine how things can be different, and then leaders did imagine and could see it and led. And so you have been a great leader. Do not be deterred.
So Greta has a recorder always with her, and when it happened,
It's in my
so
pocket. Oh, yes.
and it was in Greta's recording now, and so if you would like to get it, we can provide it.
Maybe this recorder can help you. In my site,
Thank you. That would be
I can
wonderful. Thank
I
you.
can
Thank you. That would
testify
be wonderful.
against this terrible man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry I have to hang up now, but Josh will follow up with you, and we will stay in touch and work together. And I look forward to working with you.
We are in Canada now, but we will be in the US soon.
Oh, good. Then we should make a plan then. I would like that.
Yes, I hope that you will not arrest us like
I don't want to go to jail, really.
like some people do.
I look forward to seeing you. Be well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
So funny how they got her. Man. They're pretty good. Sorry about that. They got her real good. Yeah. They really know how to get these celebrities. So, what do you think, guys? It's eye-opening how they're worth so much money and they can't get past these pranksters. Now, Joe Biden faces some plagiarism accusations on his DNC acceptance speech. Many viewers of Joe Biden's speech for the DNC acceptance speech mimicked words said from the new Democratic Party leader Jack Layton in 2011. In 2011, before he passed, he wrote a letter, and Joe Biden basically plagiarized a piece of that. We'll talk about that. And now the campaign of Joe claims to install the anti-plagiarism software program costing $4,200 last year. What kind of system did they get with software? And it didn't work because they keep getting caught. So clearly they either are incompetent, not using the software, or they just they knew what they were doing. And that's what I'm afraid of. Now, this is just one of many numerous plagiarism allegations against Joe throughout his political career. He also had a claim in 1987, taking speech lines from Neil Kinnock, and he's a British politician. Now, back in 1987, during his bid for president, Biden faced accusations of plagiarism that ultimately faced him to drop out of the race. He did this the first time he went for president, and he didn't learn his lesson. This is the kind of president that people are going to vote for. He didn't learn from his past mistakes. Now, this is what he said, Biden said, and previously, or back in 1987, I'm sorry, for his first bid for president. He said, why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university? Why is it that my wife, who is sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college? Is it because our fathers and mothers were not bright? Is it because I'm the first Biden in 1,000 generations to get a college and a graduate degree that I was smarter than the rest? Now, the British Labour Party leader, Neil Kinnock, months earlier Biden said this speech. He said, Neil, that is, why am I the first kid in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university? Why is my wife Glennie's the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university? Was it because all our presidents were thick? That's the British way of saying hard-headed, thick-headed. Or as Biden said in his, not smarter than the rest. Or at least he said he was smarter than the rest. Ridiculous. Clearly stole the line. And no credit given. Now, according to the San Jose Mercury News, in a speech Biden made earlier in 1987, he had pulled lines from a speech given by RFK or Robert F. Kennedy 2 decades earlier. Again, more plagiarism. And the paper also reported that in 1986, Biden used, without credit of course, a passage from his 1976 speech by former Vice President Hubert Humphrey Jr. Now, I don't really recall who Hubert Humphrey Jr. is. But of course, Biden probably stole it. Not probably, but definitely did steal it. Man, what a joke. And now, last year, in 2019, Biden unveiled a climate change plan that did not accurately credit sources. Now, Trump said when he saw this that it was plagiarized. He said, plagiarism charge against Sleepy Joe Biden on his ridiculous climate change plan is a big problem. But the corrupt media will save him. His other problem is that he is drawing flies, not people, to his rallies. Nobody is showing up. I mean, nobody. You can't win without people, the president wrote. And of course, Sleepy Joe Biden plagiarizing, just trying to get into office to get power. This is always the case with liberals. Well, not liberals anymore. I should say Democrats. I say classical liberals. They're starting to see the light, and they're starting to come over to the Republican Party. But these people are they need help because they just don't care. Do whatever they have to do to win. Now, Representative Elise Stefanik is going to target Biden at the GOP primetime convention speech next week. Now, she's considered by many to be a rising star in the Republican Party, and we'll have a primetime speaking spot next week when the GOP holds its presidential nominating convention, according to reports. Now, Stefanik announced her selection to speak at the convention in a Twitter message on Friday. I think that's the 21st, yeah. Now, she wrote, "It's a great opportunity for the North Country to have a national audience." She added, using a quote she gave to the Daily Gazette of Schenectady. I'm sorry if I said it incorrectly. I'm not from that area, or at least not from that section of New York. Now, further logistical updates will have most speakers, including the president, addressing the nation from Washington. And the Times Union reported that. Now, other speakers are expected to include U.S. Senators Johnny Ertz of Iowa, and Tim Scott, of course, of South Carolina, Richard Grenell, former acting director of national intelligence, Nikki Haley, of course, we all know, a former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and a former governor of South Carolina as well. Andrew Pollock, the father of a Parkland, Florida massacre victim, we all recall. Abby Johnson, which is a pro-life activist. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, and Pennsylvania U.S. House candidate Sean Parnell. And we all recall the kid Stefanik will be, Stefanik, she will be seeking her fourth term in the House when she competes against the Democrat Ted Cobb, in November. So now we're going to get to the most ridiculous story I've heard this weekend. Now this is from Tennessee. A Tennessee mom says parents asked to sign ridiculous waiver, and they will not eavesdrop on kids' online lessons. So the Tennessee mom are saying that they're making them sign this waiver, and they can't eavesdrop on the kids' online lessons. She's asking questions. She's like, what are they trying to hide? What is the problem? Why are they letting us? Why won't they let us sit in? She told this to Fox and Friends weekend. And, of course, the Tennessee School District is under fire for asking parents to sign a form agreeing not to eavesdrop on kids. And that's in their virtual classes. And it's over concerns they could overhear confidential information. And, of course, after significant pushback, Rutherford County Schools is allowing parents to tune in with permission from the teacher, but they can't record the classes. What sensitive information are they giving out? Because if that's the case, then the other children should be hearing it neither. Ridiculous. Now the mom says, obviously, because they are teaching our children propaganda that they should not be teaching, and they're trying to socialize our children. By socialize, they mean socialism. She added, we have had a major problem in education, not just here in Tennessee, but across the country where they are indoctrinating our children with propaganda. It's, of course, that Common Core, those ridiculous lessons and curriculum they're giving to children. We shouldn't have it. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, 2 plus 2 is 4, not 3, not 5. That's it. Period. It's math. Now, Cardozo Moore questioned why the school would encourage parents to snitch on one another, and what would happen if a parent violates the waiver. Now, these are some good questions, because she also asks, does that mean somebody from the school district is going to knock on my door and pull my kid out of my home, his virtual classroom? She asked. Or is it going to be my tax dollars that fund my child's public education? My child won't get to participate in education because of it? Now, the school district responded in a statement to Fox News. They said, we are aware of the concern that has been raised about this distance learning letter that was sent to parents. And James Evan, which is the communications director for the Rutherford County Schools, said, we have issued new guidance to principals that parents can assist their children during virtual group lessons with permission of the instructor, but should refrain from sharing or recording any information about other students in the classroom. And Cardoso said this is because teachers are pushing social justice instead of reading, writing, and math. and they don't want to be held accountable to the parents. Now, that's 100% correct because they're clearly showing the children the social justice propaganda, and they don't want the kids, or I mean parents, to know about it. You know why? Tennessee is mostly it's a red state. So if the schools are doing that and the parents find out, clearly they're gonna have an uproar, and they are having it right now. So that's why they wanted a waiver sign. But what would the waiver do? Is the state going to put their foot, or should I say put their knee on the neck of their citizens? Yeah, see how ridiculous it sounds? Now, parents should have total and complete control of what their children learn. There shouldn't be something new or something, out of the norm. This should be the norm. Government should stay out of the policy of teaching political or teaching political objectives, especially, it's always coming from the left. It's not like it's bipartisan, show both sides. No, they always show their side of the story. This has always been the case. This is why they get into the schools, to indoctrinate children so that they vote left and they bring power to the party. It sounds something like the Chinese CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, if you didn't know what CCP meant. And it's that's why Cubans, they vote Republican. They see the propaganda. They've seen it before in Cuba, and they don't want to deal with that. They vote Republican, majority. So, like, what would parents do out there? And write down in the comments about what you would do if you found this waiver being sent to you, or either through an email or something, basically saying you can't know what's going on, or at least eavesdrop on your kids' lessons. That's ridiculous. If I wanted to, with schools open, I should be able to sit in a classroom and see what the teacher is teaching. Period. But yeah, this is what happens when you put leftists in. Kamala Harris can't figure it out. Who's hoaxing her? Her staff can't, vet the right people, make sure it's really Greta. Joe Biden, of course, his own staffers, they write the speeches for him. Because if you can tell, as he's looking at the teleprompter, his eyes get cross-eyed a little bit, and he has to shake it off. He doesn't shake his head, but you can see he blinks. Make sure he can read the words correctly. And this is why they plagiarize, because they can't come up with anything new. It's either something very old policies that's been put into place in the past, didn't work, and then they say, oh, if I'd done it, it would have worked better. They do the same thing for communism, socialism. It's all the same. This is why I'm not a Democrat. I mean, I can't go for those policies. I mean, from abortion. It kills more minorities every single year. to you got they want these like a common core. Like, I'm not trying to share my grades with people because they didn't put the work. Okay? And I had my little cousin had to deal with that in Buffalo, New York. And the ridiculousness. Then they go with the unarmed black men being shot. Everybody. Everything's racist. But we see in the records that there's only 13 unarmed black men killed in America last year. So it's all propaganda from the left. This is why we see movements like Brexit walk away, because people are seeing what the left does. You don't see stories of people from the right going to the left. And if they are, they've either been tricked. Of course they've been tricked. They want to look cool for their friends, or they came into a new social economic class, and so they want to look like they're in the crowd. Mostly is what I see, or because of a loved one. So, and they claim that you can't meet the American dream, but yet we see people do it all the time. They claim they're all white, and yet what we see is that it's also minorities, and the Hispanic and black people communities and black people and Hispanic people are all failing. Majority. I'm not going to say all of them because that's not true. But a large majority, we see the numbers, and they're not succeeding. Not in education, not in keeping their jobs. They keep falling back on welfare. A majority of these, not all of them. But numbers need to go down. We need more people working, less in the welfare system. How else are you going to improve? But they're stuck watching content on YouTube, video games, and not working on their future. So, yeah, these are crazy times. We are seeing more people going to vote for Donald Trump. They're coming from minority communities, and the left knows it. They see it, and they're scared because they know they could lose the House, and we can retain, of course, the executive and the Senate. And the left wants to avoid that at all means possible. And of course, if we were on their side, we would not want that to happen as well, because we wouldn't want the Democrats to have all the government. But we wouldn't go away from our morals. They'll start a race for the left. The left would start a race war right away. And we see it. Look, Seattle, Portland, Chicago. This is the way it's the way they govern, and it's hard to see because they're not harming, the most successful, the most privileged people in this country. How could they? But who they are harming are their own people. in their own community. And that's BLM what I'm talking about. They're the ones harming their own people. Antifa. We've seen the videos. They weren't social distancing, but yet they have religious places, organizations shut down, claiming that there's a pandemic out here. And so you can't go to your services. You can't go to your funerals. And you can't even make money. We started this lockdown, and right before my birthday, they shut everything down. So I didn't get to enjoy my birthday this year. Most people won't. But if it was before that time frame, you're lucky. So, it's important that we get out there and we vote. And we go and we make sure that we put the right people into office. And make sure that we stop all this virtual signaling, because virtual signaling is harmful. It really is. You destroy innocent people just for the way they think, and it just shows your character. Because if you can't be around people different than you, how can I trust you to be around people that don't look like you? Versus you think different than me, and then I'll go to you don't look like me. So it's muddy waters for sure. So we'll get together again and holla at your boy. Make sure you comment, subscribe, do all that.